I suppose you have a few questions, so don't anybody leave. Any questions here, comments?
Governor, are you going to ask for an audit under this plan?
Oh, I mean, whatever he wants to do. I mean, are we going to? He's already got apparently four agencies that have to be audited. We welcome that. And if he has some ideas about local, I mean, this is, you know, actually, I think there's always been a sense that, well, you know, if they do an audit, what are they going to find? I'm like, do an audit. Let's see what we find. You know, we could find some really good stuff. And then they'll help us to do our job because, you know, $8 billion in the hole would be really nice to come up with some ways that we could save some money. So I might ask him, you know, we have to think about it. We have to think about what the game plan ought to be. But he already has a lot of responsibility. Dave, you want to comment on this at all? The four biggest is what you're going to audit.
We have three that are named in the legislation. One must be done but isn't named yet. And both on the scope of the audits and the identity of that fourth agency, we're going to be very interested in being collaborative with the administration and determining what we ought to look at. You know, I was a prosecutor, and you go where the facts lead you. You don't start off with your conclusions and then end up someplace. And as auditor and doing these performance audits, we're going to follow the numbers, and we're going to end up where the numbers lead us.
Dave, I've been here long enough to remember the days when certain auditors used audits to punish political foes, particularly in campaign years. How can you assure that will happen?
The legal surety is the fact that we now use those yellow book standards. You can't put your thumb on a scale and maintain your peer accreditation and follow the standards. But beyond that, I will not stand for that. Our mission statement, the day I walked in, talked about how we're driven by objective standards. We do it by the numbers with no politics. And, you know, first person I find you know, messing around and trying to direct things because of a political consideration, the next day they're not going to be working for me anymore.
Yeah, you know, I think that's it, Joe. You know, it was like there was that thing about the lottery. I guess when Mary did a performance audit of the lottery, and everybody was like, "What are they doing?" The plain dealer was, you know, are they going to release this and all that? And it got out there. And frankly, the audit on the lottery is you know, it's I think it's going to be pretty helpful to us. But your colleague from the Dayton Daily News one time, I was raising an issue with her, and she said, you know, it's a big government, and things in the government, people make mistakes, and you can't always hold the executive responsible for something that happens. I thought that was a really good comment, but you know, I mean, the buck stops with the executive. But look, it's just you know, for me, I just want this place to get better. That's all. That's the only thing I care about. And we can find some good things out, even if it could be embarrassing. You know, we'll correct it. I mean, if you make a mistake, admit it. Say you're going to get on it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's what everybody wants here. And I think the other thing is, you heard him talk. This is not a you know, kind of a gotcha process. At least I hope not. This is a process where we say, can you do things a little bit better? But you know, we start doing that, we've lost our way, we lose our way, then we lose the high ground, and then, you know, things deteriorate. So we're going to do everything we can to prevent it.
Governor, can I add something to that very quickly? When I became county auditor in Delaware County in 1999, it was March, which was already halfway into our audit, and I came in, I had never undergone an audit by the auditor of state. I'd been in the private sector and never been an elected official before, and I was scared to death. Jim Petro was the auditor, and I sat down with a guy named Bob Hinkle, who was the senior audit manager, and he's now, curiously, my chief deputy. And he told me that Jim's philosophy was, we're here to ensure clean, transparent, accurate books, and we're never going to get there if people view us as the enemy. He said, so just relax, there's no gotcha. And our first senior staff meeting, some of my senior staff is here, we talked about that experience, and I made it clear that, as the governor said, we don't want to play gotcha. We aren't looking for bad things. We're just looking to get better. We're looking for the cleanness, the transparency, and efficiency.
I think he's going to find, Joe, I'm going to predict you, he's going to find some things out there that are just going to be like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, we're putting that website up, I hope this week, the you gotta be kidding me website, and the things we're doing to fix problems. You know, we found out, like, what is it, 7,000 case backlog in the Board of Tax Appeals, Scott? Is that the number? 8,000 backlog. I mean, nobody even knew it. If we'd had a performance audit, maybe we could have fixed it sooner. So that's what you do when you're trying to make your operations run, and that's why companies in the private sector have internal audits, why you have auditors. They're in there to check things out. And by the way, these same audits will occur in Jobs Ohio, because you're going to make sure you got a clean operation.